Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. So we're gonna get into episode 4 of Tell Me Lies. It was so good. Again, if you see me looking down, it's because of my notes. We're gonna start with Diana. As you know, with episode 4, it starts with Diana talking to her friend about something and she goes to Evan. So her friend knows that she's pregnant and she goes to Evan and accidentally spills it. She says something like, someone in our friend group is pregnant. And then Evan turns around and is like, who? And I'm just like, this bitch. I'm literally like, this bitch. She talks so much. And I don't know if she told him to get closer to him or what, but I was just like, that was literally none of your business. So she told him, he's over here so excited. As you see later on, they're all sitting at the table. It's him and Wrigley. Steven comes in. He did not waste a second to literally tell Steven. Literally, Steven walks in, cafeteria, Diana's pregnant. Who are you? Who are you, Evan? I already don't like Evan because Evan's a cheater. But it makes sense why Evan and Steven are literally friends, because I'm literally confused. I get confused. I'm like, why was Steven even invited to the wedding? Why does he still like hang out with them? Y'all are so scared of him, but y'all are still hanging out with them. And then you're so quick to tell Steven things, and you know the type of person he is. You know if he had that information on you, he would use that quickly. But you're so quick to tell Diana's business to him, and he's over here like, oh well, that's Steven's business because that's Steven's baby. But you know how manipulative and crazy he is, so you literally just put Diana in this risk type thing because you just wanted to go to Steven, your leader, it looks like, because to tell him some quick tea. And Wrigley ate in that part because Wrigley literally was like, why are you telling him that? That's not any of his business. And I love Wrigley because he ate down. He kept telling him it's her body, it's her choice. I love that because he literally was like, yeah, this is a group of cells right now, and if she doesn't want to have the baby, she doesn't have to, especially because of the kind of person you are. Wrigley is literally the only sane person in this whole situation. The only person who thought before speaking, unlike Evan. He was literally the only nice person in that scene, and I was just like, wow, Wrigley literally is the best. He literally grew on me. I love him. So as you know, in Steven fashion, Steven walks his pretty behind, not so pretty behind. He walks his not so pretty behind to Diana's door and tell her, you're pregnant? And then he's over here, she's like, oh my goodness, who told you? Like, that's literally none of your business. And then he literally tries to manipulate the situation. He manipulates the situation about the baby. And then I love Diana because she's smart too. She's like, you're really trying to manipulate me right now with my dad? You're trying to manipulate me right now with my dad trying to use this baby to put over my head? Me and my dad are cool. He's over here shocked because he don't know that. Because she literally tricked him last season, trying to make him feel like, oh, my dad cut me off, blah, blah, blah. He's like, we're cool. Yeah, someone smarter than you. Someone thought ahead of you because they know how you are. But the fact that he literally tried to use a child to manipulate Diana so he can still be successful, because as you know, it's going downhill for Steven. I don't know if y'all know this, it's going downhill for Steven. Like, he's getting really lonely, and I love that for him. Like, everyone's literally attacking him. Everyone knows his shit. Like, everyone is on him. They're not playing around, especially Wrigley and Diana. I love it. And he can't say or do anything. So he just literally walks out mad because he literally can't do anything. And that shakes Diana up, of course, because you just barged into my room trying to threaten me. Okay? So with that whole part of the scene, it was just crazy because I feel like Steven is feeling so powerless because everyone is onto him and the kind of person he is. And because everyone's onto him, he went to his computer to search up someone. Who was the person he searched up? He searched up Katie. And it looks like, to me, Steven messaged Katie. That's what it looks like. And he messaged Katie because he was like, dang, if I can't mess with Diana, let me mess with someone else. Let me ruin someone else. Because, like, I've noticed with him, if he can't ruin the person that he actually wants to ruin, he goes to look for someone else life he can ruin. He's like, damn, who can I ruin today? So I just think that's so, like, crazy. So he goes and, like, oh, I have another person I can ruin. And he's like, oh, let me ruin Lucy for a little minute. So he goes to message Katie because he knows Lucy lied about her being sexually assaulted. So he knows with Katie, he can mess with her. And I've noticed with Steven, he doesn't do what people expect. Steven does not do what people expect. It's like he likes to play a game. He gets the information and he plays with it. He likes to play with people. So just like with the recording, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything with it now, but he's going to do something with it. Just even with him recording Lucy, he likes to keep it in his back pocket just in case. He does not like people knowing what his next steps are. And I think that's so scary because, like, who are you? Like, he's really a straight villain because his life is so messed up, he has to mess with other people. And his sister was not wrong in telling him that you're just like mom, because you are. Your mom is over there trying to patronize, antagonize your dad or whatever, who's not in your life anymore, and antagonize the woman. And you're doing the same thing. You're over here calling, doing all these things, antagonizing your friends. And I still don't understand how he has friends, but it makes sense because some people still would keep people around that they don't trust, and they just be like, oh, well, he hasn't done nothing to me, but he's done everything to everyone else. He's done everything to everyone, so I don't understand. But maybe it's because Wrigley doesn't know what he's done to him. Yeah, we know what he's done to everyone, but everyone doesn't really know. But even in that case, it's just like, y'all don't really need to hang out with Steven. There's other great people y'all can hang out with, you know? So that's that part. We're done with that part. The next thing I wrote was situation with Bree. Bree is in her class and stuff, and her professor is telling her, like, oh, her photography is so beautiful. They want to invite her to something. She's so happy, so happy. Oliver's ass, he literally comes out of nowhere and grabs Bree and like, oh, we need to talk. And he has the nerve to really scare Bree and call her needy and manipulate her. And I wish he really actually did tell the dean that he's over here having relations with freshman women, because who are you? And who are you to just manipulate her, try and manipulate her and call her needy because she knows what you're on? Like, you're weird. He's so weird to me. And that was such a scary scene because, like, you see him, he plays with people and he tries to be sweet, all that, just to get in the girl's pants and everything. And it's like he switched like a light. And it's weird because his fiance knows he does this, so they're all weird. And I just hate that. I hate it. And I hate that he made Bree feel so terrible, because when Bree ended up hanging out with Wrigley and everything, she even asked, am I needy? And that's such an understandable thing to ask, because at that age, they're in college. At that age, you're still trying to figure yourself out. Like, Bree still is trying to figure out how she even acted when she was little. That's why she kept asking Alex, that's how I acted. She doesn't really know the kind of person she is, because she doesn't have videos, pictures of herself when she was little, because she was adopted. So she doesn't really have her own sense of self yet. So for him to know that, and for Oliver to manipulate her, it's just weird and scary. It's giving Steven. Like, they're both terrible people. And I'll put Evan in the mix of that. Like, I think Evan is truly terrible too. I don't care. Like, Evan is truly terrible to me. I don't care. Like, especially with him telling Diana that made me realize, oh, Evan, you're not shit either. No, you're not shit. So that's just how that went. So she's over there asking Wrigley, so do you think I'm needy and stuff? And Wrigley's trying to joke about it. And she's like, no, seriously, like, answer my question. Like, am I needy? And Wrigley is like, no, like, why would you ask me that? And they have another moment. Because guess what Pippa's doing? Pippa is over there with Diana trying to get her pants. And they have a conversation talking about, oh, you're pregnant. Like, Pippa couldn't hold it in. She was like, so you're pregnant. And then Diana's like, damn, everyone knows. Yes, girl, this small group that you told your business to, everyone's telling quickly. Just don't tell no one, nothing else. And then they're about to do it. She's like, is it okay? Because you have a baby up in there. And she's like, no, like, I don't care. Let's get it popping. They're getting it popping, whatever. But yeah, Bree, Wrigley had their moment. They're close and stuff. They're over there taking like pictures and organize it. And Wrigley's like, yeah, take a picture of me. But they get really deep and stuff. And it's like, as you can see, they're having deep moments each episode. Like whether they were at the bus stop with the photography scene, like they're having different moments and they're actually building a connection and things like that. And I think it's like so cute. That's that with that. And then we're gonna go to Lucy. Lucy wasn't showed up too much in the beginning of this episode, which is cool with me because I was gonna tire her, but she wasn't. And with this episode, Alex calls Lucy while Lucy is curling her hair, and Lucy burns herself. And I don't know, it's like they emphasize her burning herself a lot, and I didn't know if it was a metaphor of her actually burning herself in her life, like with what she's doing. But it kept emphasizing like even the bruise when she was cleaning it up, things like that. But anyways, Alex asked her to hang out later that night, which is interesting to me because Alex seemed like a loner. So they hang out that night, and Lucy sees the guy she used to mess with that she didn't really like, but the guy liked him, and she was telling Alex how terrible of a person she is because of that. And he was like, this scene was a little tension. Like, I was like, ooh. I was like, this is the most heated scene I've seen. And I was just like, Alex was like, apologize. And she was like, no, he's having dinner right now. He was like, if you're really sorry, you would apologize. And Lucy was just on her knees basically and just followed the directions of what he just said. And I was just like, okay, Lucy. And Lucy did that. And I feel like that turned Alex on, because right after that scene, y'all know what happened right after that scene, but right after that scene, they did the do, and she was over there apologizing there too. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, Lucy, get your stuff. Lucy does not play. Lucy is quick to find a man and to do something with him. She does not play with that. But she'll still be under Steven. It's so funny. Anyways, with that, I was like, okay, this is cool. This was like a cool scene from Lucy. Not too much. She wasn't irritating or nothing. I spoke too soon because Lucy is then in her room. Bree gets a notification of this group chat. It's a group chat of the sexual assault, because previously Lucy was brought in to the room with Katie and the professor's wife that he likes to deal with, freshman women or whatever like that. She was in there, and then the dean, I believe, was in there, and was like, they were basically trying to get her to speak and trying to help Katie with her case, because Katie was actually sexually assaulted. Yeah, Katie was actually sexually assaulted while Lucy was lying. And Lucy could have cut it right then and there. But she was just like, I just don't want to be in it. Someone was actually sexually assaulted. You don't think they want you to be in it and stuff so they can like heal, you know, help a girl out and stuff. She's just like, no, I just don't want to be in it. I don't want to be part of it. She literally could have just told the truth. I still didn't understand that. I still don't get that. It's like she likes, like the iron did, burning herself, because she really didn't have to do that. The professor follows her and she's like, first of all, you and your husband be doing weird shit on this campus, so back the fuck up. And she walks away. Zoom back. Bree goes into her room talking to Lucy about, oh my goodness, did you see, was it Facebook? It was something. Did you see the group that was made or whatever? And she was like, no. She looks and stuff. It was a group showing that she was like sexually assaulted with someone else. And then Bree's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this happened. And Pippa is just over there standing because it happened to Pippa. So Pippa's over there standing and just looking at Lucy. And they're all just, I'm just like, are y'all not going to tell Bree the truth? Why is no one telling Bree the truth? I'm confused. If she's your friend, what's the problem with just telling Bree? All these secrets behind Bree, and it's just like so weird to me. They just did not want to tell her. And I'm just confused, like, what's going on? What's going on? Oh my gosh, y'all, I forgot to add this part. So I'm going to just insert it probably randomly here. Another thing, because I just looked at my notes. The other thing I was going to say was when Lucy found out about that online group that I believe someone created, which was Steven. I don't know who created, but I'm pretty sure it's Steven. She goes to Diana and she tells Diana, I need your help because I told Steven about the sexual assault thing. And Diana's looking at her like, why did you do that? Diana literally is looking at her like how all of us are looking at Lucy, like, why would you do that? And she's like, because I had no choice. And then Diana is like, okay, well, people can't like prove it because they'll probably think that he's bitter and stuff like that. And then Lucy's like, well, I did make a recording of it and he has that recording. And then she's like, Diana's like, you really don't make good decisions. And she don't. Lucy was like, yeah, girl, I know. She explains to Diana that she did it because he knows something else about her and she did not want that to come out. And Diana's looking at her like, okay, what's worse than lying about sexual assault? And that's my question, because what is worse than lying about sexual assault? Exactly, nothing. That's why I'm like, and then Lucy's over here like, oh, this is definitely worse. Like you having sex with your friend's ex-boyfriend is worse than lying about sexual assault, when you can get sued and everyone can hate you, and then the person, people might not believe the true person who was actually sexually assaulted, and the case might not even be listened to because you're the person who lied. Compared to that, and you doing that to Bree, that's worse. And I was looking at Lucy like, what are you talking about right now? And it's literally not worse. And it's crazy because you see in her head, she literally thinks it's worse. Like, hurting Bree is worse. And the fact that when Bree gets the recording of Evan confessing, it's so funny because Bree literally doesn't like bat an eye. It's so funny. She does not bat an eye. She's just like, I mean, I did something worse though. And it's the fact that in the past, Lucy is freaking so hard about this, so bad. And it's like, in the future, that don't even matter because there's something worse that Bree does. So it's like, the sexual assault thing is going to ruin someone's life forever. That's someone, you literally get traumatized by that. Other people are getting traumatized by that. That happened during her college time. Like, she thought she was in a safe space, safe area, things like that. And she was trying to get your help and stuff like that. And you didn't want to help her at that time because you wanted to keep the lie about you having sex with your friend's ex-boyfriend. Like, Lucy's dumb as fuck. I don't know. But yeah, that was all I wanted to insert. Let's continue with what I was talking about. They're still lying and saying it was just something, and Bree's over here feeling so bad and just thinking. But Bree, after that situation, Bree walks out that door and is like, dang. She's like, out of all these men, I guess Evan is better. I said, Bree. And then she got nerve, next thing, go to Evan's door. And then that's the scene where they're getting married. And I'm like, oh, Bree settled. She settled because she saw, and it makes sense why she settled. She saw all these men doing terrible shit back to back. She said, damn. She said, Steven's terrible. She said, this professor who just called me needy was terrible. She said, damn, that what's it called, Lucy's best friend's brother, like, sexually assaulted Lucy, and I didn't even know. He didn't even see that type of person. She just keeps seeing terrible men back to back. So she's like looking at Evan. She's like, I mean, Evan just cheated. Evan's still a cheater. And it's sad because she don't know, like, Wrigley's there. It's sad she don't know that Wrigley is better compared to all of them. Not Evan, it's Wrigley. And we see that they get married and everything, and Steven is confused. He's really confused. Bree knows that Steven's confused, and it's like, one mistake is not gonna mess up this whole thing. It's not gonna mess up the situation I got, you know? And she walks away, and Steven is pissed. When Steven's plan gets pissed on and everything like that, he likes to go to someone else so he can attack. So he's looking and he's looking, he's like, ooh, Lucy's right there, let me get her. So he walks to Lucy and tries to like bring her down also, and Lucy was like, the only thing that this weekend made me realize is you have not changed. It's so funny because Lydia ends up getting mad and then going there like, what were you talking to Lucy about? Like, Lydia, you should have been known Steven wasn't shit. If you were listening to Lucy and didn't just like believe the first thing Steven told you when y'all met, this would not happen. Because I don't know, Lydia's just a bad friend to me too. Because why you just believe the person Lucy was talking about the whole time with you, how he was traumatizing her, and you believe the first thing that came out of his mouth when he talked to you? You're so weird. You're so weird. So it's her fault personally, but she gets mad at her, and then it's like a far away scene where she walks away. I'm like, shoot, I ain't like her anyways, that's okay with me. So so that's what happened. And this last part that we're about to talk about, this confirmed everything, and I was just like, whoa. So what happens in the scene is Steven sits down next to Wrigley, irritated, whatever, because everyone just pissed him off. But what then happens is Wrigley ends up dancing with Pippa. What's her name? Pippa? Wrigley starts dancing with Pippa, and Bree is dancing with her new husband, Evan, who I truly hate. Yeah, okay. So that's what's happening. And in that scene, he says something like, I guess I'll just pretend that you're the person I'm in love with. And the way I rewinded that 2 times, I was like, what do you mean, pretend? And then it showed the way Wrigley was staring at Bree. Like, he was showing all emotions. Like, he could not even hide that. He was dancing with Pippa, staring dead at Bree. And Bree was just looking like she wanted to cry. Like, I can't. I'm married to him. I can't. Like, you know, I can't do that to him. And she was just looking. And she just looked uncomfortable because Wrigley was staring her down. He looked so hurt. And I was just like, damn, this could have been something. It was something, but this could have been something bigger than Evan, you know? This could have been bigger than Evan. So I was just like, damn, Evan's happy ass is over there dancing, not knowing what Bree's face looked like and what Wrigley's face looked like. But Pippa knows, which is nice, because it's like, damn, Pippa, if you gonna cheat on Wrigley, at least y'all like be honest with each other and tell the truth. So it's nice that they eventually told the truth with each other. But the funniest scene to me was Steven is still sitting there. So it pans out and you see Steven just looking at them. And you know how he'd be looking behind his eyebrows with his mischievous like face. And he just looks behind his eyebrows and he's just like sitting there and he's looking at them. And he's looking back and forth. Because it's obvious. Like, it's so obvious. And that's my thing. Because it's like, why did Wrigley leave his phone? And as you can see in the previous scenes, like when in 2008, Wrigley knows Steven. That's why he's literally telling Evan, don't tell him anymore. You don't have to tell him anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Wrigley is smart. He knows. So do you think since from 2008 to 2015, he wouldn't know the way Steven is? You know what I'm saying? Like, he would know who he is. So to have his phone unlocked in 2015, to have his phone unlocked sitting right there, you know, and just looking at that emotion, like, obviously to Bree, I think he wanted Steven to know, personally. I think he wanted Steven to know because he knows Steven's not dumb too, and he was gonna pull it together. If I look at her, if I keep looking at her, I leave my phone, Steven's gonna be curious, and that's exactly what he was. He was so curious, and he grabbed his phone and looked at the call logs and saw that he was calling Bree. Yep, he did. And he did a little smirk because he's like, oh, I'm gonna do something with this. And I think that's part of Wrigley's plan, because Wrigley is not dumb. He loves Bree, and you can see it in his face. And I'm just like, damn, those are the two people who need to be together so bad, because everyone else is trash. Everyone else is trash to me. So it's like, no, I feel like they need to like be together, like. But I don't know if Bree wants that to even happen, because Bree just was over there saying I do, not answering. Like, man, I don't know. But it got so good. I was kind of nervous because those 3 episodes they gave us, I was like, dang, all those 3 was actually something. But the 4th episode actually gave us what they needed to give. So I'm glad for that. And I'm looking forward to episode 5, which is on Monday night. And hopefully I'll get that video earlier to y'all. But who knows? We'll see. This was nice. I'll see y'all later. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.